Be careful with this message. You're seconds from the part where people usually quit. The tension, the impatience, the "what's the point" feeling, that's the pressure signal. When it hits maximum load, the system doesn't break. It breaks through. There's a specific feeling that shows up right before everything shifts. It's not excitement. It's not even hope. It's a kind of restless clarity. Like you can see where you need to go but can't quite reach it yet. Like you're standing at a door that's locked from the inside, and you're the one holding the key but don't realize it's already in your hand. That feeling? That's not frustration. That's proximity. Think about the last few days. Have you felt more irritable than usual? More impatient? Like you can't tolerate the same things you used to brush off? That's not you becoming difficult. That's your system rejecting what no longer matches your next level. You're not regressing. You're outgrowing. And the tighter your old life feels, the closer you are to breaking through into the new one. In geology, there's a phenomenon called pressure before fracture. When tectonic plates push against each other, pressure builds slowly over years. Everything looks stable on the surface. Then suddenly, without warning, the pressure exceeds the threshold and the plates shift. Earthquakes don't happen gradually, they happen instantly. But the conditions for them build invisibly for decades. You're in that pre-shift pressure. The surface looks calm, but beneath it, everything is ready to move. Here's what makes this moment different from every other time you felt close. You're not hoping anymore. You're recognizing. And recognition is the final stage before manifestation. The invisible progress you can't see. Yet one of the hardest parts about being right before a breakthrough is that progress becomes invisible right when you need to see it most. You've been working, trying, pushing, showing up, and for a while you could see results. Small wins, forward movement, evidence that your effort mattered. But lately, it feels like nothing's working. Like you're putting in the same energy and getting nothing back. That's not failure, that's lag time. Systems theory explains this through something called the delay principle. In any complex system, there's always a gap between input and output. You plant a seed, and nothing happens for weeks. Then suddenly, a sprout. You work out consistently, and the scale doesn't move. Then suddenly, everything shifts. The delay isn't evidence that it's not working. It's evidence that it is working, just beneath the surface where you can't measure it yet. Your breakthrough is in that delay right now. Everything you've been building, every choice you've made, every moment you showed up even when you didn't feel like it, all of it is compounding. But compounding doesn't show up linearly. It shows up exponentially. And exponential growth looks flat for a long time before it curves upward. You're in the flat part. The curve is coming. Think about how bamboo grows. For the first 5 years, you see almost nothing. Barely a few inches. It looks like it's failing. But beneath the ground, it's building a massive root system. Then, in the 6th year, it shoots up 90 feet in 6 weeks. That's not a miracle. That's the result of 5 years of invisible foundation building finally becoming visible. You're in year 5, and you have no idea how close you are to year 6. Neuroscience backs this up too. When you learn something new, your brain doesn't rewire instantly. It goes through a process called consolidation. During consolidation, the neural pathways are forming, but they're not strong enough to produce consistent results yet. So you practice, and it feels like you're getting nowhere. Then one day, seemingly overnight, it clicks. The pathway solidifies, and what was once hard becomes automatic. You're in consolidation. The pathway is forming. You just can't feel it yet. Here's the dangerous part. Most people quit right here, right before the breakthrough. Because the gap between effort and evidence gets so wide that it starts to feel pointless. They've been pushing for months, maybe years, and the results aren't matching the input. So they assume it's not working. They pivot, start over, try something new. And in doing so, they reset the timeline. They go back to day one of a new cycle instead of pushing through the final stretch of the current one. But you're still here, still reading, still showing up. And that persistence, that refusal to quit even when you can't see progress, is exactly what separates people who break through from people who stay stuck. Breakthroughs don't reward talent. They reward endurance. And you've endured long enough that the universe has no choice but to deliver. The signs you're in the final stretch. There are specific indicators that show up when you're in the final phase before a breakthrough. And most people miss them because they don't look like progress. They look like problems. But if you know what to watch for, you'll realize these aren't obstacles. They're confirmations. First sign. Everything suddenly feels harder. Tasks that used to be manageable now drain you. Conversations that used to flow now feel forced. Routines that used to ground you now feel suffocating. This isn't burnout. This is misalignment. Your frequency is rising, and anything that can't match it is creating friction. The harder things feel, the bigger the gap between where you are and where you're going. And a big gap means a big shift is coming. Second sign, people start falling away. Friends stop calling. Connections fade, invitations dry up, and it feels like rejection or abandonment. But it's not. It's recalibration. When you're about to level up, your energy field shifts, and people who were a match for the old frequency can't maintain connection with the new one. They're not leaving because they don't care. They're leaving because the resonance is gone. And that space they're creating, that's room for new people who match where you're headed. Third sign, your intuition gets louder. You start getting gut feelings about things you can't explain. A sudden urge to reach out to someone. A random idea that won't leave you alone. A strong pull towards something that doesn't make logical sense. That's not randomness. That's your system syncing with future probability. Your subconscious is picking up on patterns your conscious mind can't see yet. And the louder that voice gets, the closer you are to the timeline where those patterns become reality. Cognitive science calls this priming. Your brain is constantly scanning your environment for information that matches your current goals. Most of it gets filtered out. But when you're on the edge of a breakthrough, the filter weakens. You start noticing things you would have ignored before. Synchronicities, coincidences, small signs that feel too specific to dismiss. That's not magic. That's your attention finally tuning into the frequency of what's coming. Fourth sign, you stop caring about outcomes. Not in a defeated way, in a detached way. You used to obsess over results, check progress constantly, need validation. But lately, you're just doing the work without attachment. You show up because it's who you are, not because of what it will get you. That shift from doing to being is the final indicator. Because breakthroughs don't come to people who are chasing, they come to people who are embodying. Think about athletes right before they win a championship. Interviews always reveal the same thing. They stopped thinking about winning. They stopped checking the clock, stopped calculating scenarios, stopped worrying about the outcome. They just played. fully present, fully committed. And that presence is what allowed them to access the level of performance that actually wins. You're entering that state, and once you're in it, the breakthrough isn't just likely, it's inevitable. Why the breakthrough happens when you stop looking for it. Here's the paradox. The breakthrough you've been working toward will arrive the moment you stop waiting for it. Not because the universe is testing your patience, but because waiting and receiving operate on different frequencies. Waiting comes from lack. Receiving comes from readiness. And readiness only happens when you stop trying to force the timeline. Quantum physics offers a strange insight here. There's something called the observer effect, where the act of measuring a particle changes its behavior. When you're constantly checking for results, you're collapsing possibilities into one limited outcome. But when you stop measuring, when you stop obsessing over when and how, you allow the system to organize itself in ways you couldn't have planned. The breakthrough that arrives often looks nothing like the one you were expecting, and it's better. Think about the last time something amazing happened in your life. Chances are you weren't actively pursuing it when it showed up. You'd let go, moved on, stopped thinking about it. And then, out of nowhere, it appeared. That's not coincidence. That's energetic release. When you stop gripping, you create space. And nature abhors a vacuum. The moment you let go, something rushes in to fill the gap. This is why forced breakthroughs rarely last. You can push, hustle, grind your way to a result. But if it's not aligned with your natural frequency, it won't stick. You'll get the outcome and lose it just as fast. Real breakthroughs, the ones that last, happen when your internal state matches the external result. And that matching only happens when you stop performing and start being. Behavioral psychology has studied this extensively. There's a concept called the law of reversed effort. The harder you try to force something, the more it resists. Think about trying to fall asleep. The moment you try, you can't. But the moment you stop trying and just relax, sleep comes naturally. Or trying to remember a name. The harder you think, the more it hides. But the moment you let it go, it surfaces. Your breakthrough works the same way. You've been trying so hard for so long that effort has become your default mode. But effort is what got you to the door. Surrender is what opens it. And surrender doesn't mean giving up. It means trusting that you've already done enough, that the seeds are planted, that the work is complete. And now, the only thing left to do is let it unfold. This video appeared because you're finally at that point. You've pushed as far as pushing can take you. You've built the foundation. You've put in the hours. You've survived the setbacks. And now, the universe is showing you this message as a signal. You can stop now. Not stop working, stop forcing, stop waiting, stop checking, just be. And watch what happens when you do. The breakthrough isn't coming, it's already here. You just haven't recognized it yet because you're still looking for the version you imagined. But life doesn't deliver the breakthrough you planned. It delivers the one you're ready for. And the one you're ready for is bigger, stranger, more perfectly aligned than anything you could have designed yourself. So here's what happens next. You're going to finish reading this, and something inside you is going to relax. Maybe just a little, maybe completely. But that relaxation is the signal. The moment your nervous system stops bracing for disappointment and starts allowing possibility. And once that shift happens, everything accelerates. You'll notice opportunities you would have missed before. Conversations will lead somewhere unexpected. Decisions that felt impossible will suddenly feel obvious. Not because the external world changed, because you finally aligned with the frequency where those things live. And once you're aligned, they don't have to find you. You're already standing where they are. This video found you just before your breakthrough, because timing isn't random. You reached the exact point where this message could land, where the words wouldn't bounce off skepticism but sink into recognition. You're not searching anymore. You're receiving, and receiving is the final stage. The breakthrough is here. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now. You're just catching up to it. And the moment you stop looking for it is the moment you'll realize it's been happening all along. This video found you once. That was all it needed. The rest is unfolding.